Okay, Brownstock 2011, athlete headlining the main stage right now, and I'm sitting backstage right here with another than the mighty Pendulum.
Yeah. Yes. Hello.
Hello. How you doing, guys? How you doing?
I'm good. Shall we introduce ourselves?
Indeed.
I'm Paul.
This is Ben.
And I'm Kevin.
His name's not Kevin. What's your real name?
Gareth.
There you go. From the mighty Pendulum, guys, firstly, thanks very much for coming along tonight. We're really privileged to have you guys here. And you've all come from different places. This is one of the bizarre things about Pendulum, like you split up into groups, go and do your own thing. You've come from Ibiza, is that right, Paul?
I played at Space on Friday, so I'm supposed to be there still.
You came back especially for Brownstock?
I'm playing on Tuesday, so I thought I would like a bit of Brown, so I came back.
It's all crazy down in Browntown. You heard it here first. Paul Hardy wants to get Brown. It's all good. It's all good. And you guys just come back from Norway?
Yeah. We just been out.
I got in this morning, and he got into the hotel this morning. so
we just literally flew in like 50 minutes ago.
Yeah. Judging by the size of your pupils, bit of a heavy night last night.
Terribly. We put the scandal in Scandinavia.
Oh, there you go. And I'm sure it'll never be the same again.
Better than my Brown pun. That's really good, guys.
We coined that. Put a scoundrel in Scandinavia. You heard it here first. So, guys.
It's a unique situation. You don't often get your feet eaten backstage.
It's true. And they're sitting here. And I mean, how's it feeling for you? Like a little bit nervous about it first.
It was a bit. Start was a bit shaky, but right now I'm settling into it.
So coming to the end of the festival season now, how's it been for you guys? Like hectic and crazy busy. Like you've been on mad bills all over the place.
I can't remember.
Literally.
It's been 26.
30, dude.
So far it's been 26.
26 dates just this summer, what, from June?
Yeah,
festivals, yeah, just festivals. And then about 217 DJ shows as well that I remember nothing about, but they're all great.
Guys, as well, like, obviously we've all sort of met before, we've all played together before. Look, real humble guys. I mean, how, like, keeping such a busy schedule, and you're all family guys as well. I mean, how do you manage that?
We were born in Australia for the most part, and if you're not humble, your friends call you a wanker. So
is wanker Australian? I didn't think they had wanker in Australia.
I think we just adapted it and made it wanker instead of however you.
And I sort of worked my way through the drum and bass scene. So by the time I met this lot, I was, I'd sort of earned my stripes to sort of do that. So I've kind of,
And then like you woke up one day and your feet were being eaten by fish, which is actually a dressing room requirement of ours. And I'm glad that you guys were able to sort that out.
Yeah.
Well, it was a very specific requirement on the tech rider that we had through 3 CDJ 9000, 2000s, a 900 DJM, and a fish pedicure.
Yep, that's exactly the rider.
Some Maker's Mark.
Let's get that.
So, but in general, like the Pendulum Live show, we caught you guys at SW4 last weekend. Obviously, different vibes, different crowd. How do you find it reacts in terms of DJ and the live show? Obviously, you've got to have favourites with each, no?
Yeah, both have equal good qualities. The live thing, you often play to massive crowds, and you're on the bill sort of. We got put above Slayer and people like that, and then like before Tiesto, and the DJ thing's killer as well because you can just you can do many more shows in a row, and you can do small clubs, big things. There's not a lot of production, and the vibe is similar, the similar energy. But the live thing's its own entity on its own, and then. These guys are doing a new thing called Knife Party, which is taking the DJ thing to a whole angle with their Ableton Live, etc. So, yeah, fucking hell.
The fish are freaking him out. You know what's funny? You mentioned Slayer, Sonosphere this year, the Big Four, absolutely smashed it. And one of the interesting things about you guys, you're very, very cross-genre, aren't you? It's not all about electro, dance music. You're rock fans, hip-hop fans.
Yeah.
You think that reflects in the music that you make, or is that definitely like, sort of where you're driving?
It has from day dot, because when other drum and bass producers were sitting there listening to whatever they were going to try and copy, we were listening to Slayer records and Cradle of Filth records, thinking, how can we inject that into what we're doing now, subtly, but.
And it's crazy because it just doesn't happen anymore. I know Skrillex did a tune with Korn a little while ago. It was a good tune. It was a great track. But
Again, Skrillex is a guy who's come straight out of the screamo emo scene anyway, so he's just like us, come from a metal background.
It just crossed over because it's crazy. Drum and bass raves back in the day, you'd have every demographic of people there. It wasn't all about your sort of like, nowadays it's a little bit more your sort of like, I hate to say chavs, not chavs, but like, you know, the whole tracksuit thing. You had like everybody, your rock fans, everybody going to the whole idea was you go to a rave wearing your oldest clothes because you knew everything was going to get trashed that night. And it really diverse. I mean, the garage burst onto the scene, everything else, and you guys are really stuck true to your roots. And one thing, I mean, certainly now within the music industry, Indian rock had its time, and now this whole electro-fused rock synth sound, which, to be fair, Pendulum pioneered, you know, and this is right at the forefront of selling music at the moment. I mean, how do you guys feel about how the...
We love it, man. And I mean, our mate Example, he just got #1 again with our mates Nero producing the track. You know?
Yeah, mate, Sam from MTA and Example.
2 in 2 weeks, #1.
Smashed it last week. Yeah, absolutely.
Ed Sheeran as well, really rate him. And yeah,
it's good because basically when we used to DJ and not play live, we'd always be thinking, what the hell can we play that sounds like what we're into? And now that's not a problem at all.
And that whole sort of element, I mean, I remember seeing David Guetta. I'm not a massive Guetta fan. Sorry, David, if you're watching. But still, like, to see him headline a festival like V last year and basically fundamentally just be a DJ set with a big visual show around him. And what you guys do is completely different. And honestly, I mean, I truly think the whole new dubstep scene, Scream Bemmy, all those guys, Gary and that pioneered that scene. They're riding the crest of that. You guys, I mean, it's fair to say, pioneered this synth sound that's out at the moment.
I think the important thing about Pendulum is it's not about dance, not about rock, it's not about dubstep, drum bass, it's just about something that's heinous. And that's the main thing. It's like when you come to see, want to stress for the DJ shows, when you come and see Pendulum, you're not just going to get 10 Pendulum drum bass tunes, you're going to get a proper journey.
We just don't like just one style of music. So if someone stands there and goes, oh, Pendulum's going to DJ, they're going to play 2 hours of drum and bass, we're like, no, we're not. Because we don't just like that, and it's
a passion-driven thing for you guys, exactly. Then, isn't it?
BPM, I think BPM is more and more becoming irrelevant. Kids want to hear
crossover so much. When you look at like guys like Mr. Jam out there, Zane, and that when they play out, it's all about cross. I mean, I'm hearing Zane play Ace of Spades, Motorheads, smashing into Magnetic Match. You know what I mean? Quite crazy, MIDI control still, but what? It's all good. But that whole cross, people. That's why people want to hear bangers. You know, and I mean, definitely you guys represent that in your sets when you're playing out as a DJ, as a live band as well. And as well, like the visual stage, you've got the whole platform thing, so it looks like you're floating and stuff. It's a good look. I mean, is that something you guys have a big part in planning that as well?
The thing about this year was, we didn't have a new album out, so we had to do something different to feel like that we'd given the crowd warrant the set and the slot.
I mean, we're still touring Immersion. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It's old to us. People might say a year-old record is old, but to us it's like, shit, we only just got to know that thing.
You know, if you pay your money to go to a festival to see Pendulum, it's one of them to be like, oh, fuck, you know, did you see that? Like, at least, or did you hear that? Like, and that's the main thing. It's not give a bit back and don't just, I don't know, that year, you know, we've done 3 albums that year when there's nothing new out can be a dodgy one, and we've just gone out there and just loved it.
Basically, if we have a profit margin, we feel guilty, so we just blow it all on production.
And make us mark.
Our stage shows cost more than we bloody get paid, so I hope it looks good.
Don't think it for a minute that live music doesn't cost, and we've seen 7 figures
we
come in and go out.
As a promoter.
From the same perspective, as an artist myself as well, a musician, you watch what goes on stage and you appreciate the sort of, even the sheer logistics of putting that sort of stuff together.
I was standing backstage when Beyonce played after us at Glastonbury, and in her first song, I was just counting in fireworks.
It's 45
because I know how much they cost. I think it just blew like 40 grand in
40 grand in the first minute. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. It's like, shikling, you know what I mean? We're like, okay, just at that moment, let that one go. You know?
I got a question for you.
Go.
Should we go play?
Oh, mate, you should go play. Do you know what? We're gonna cut it short right there. Brownstock, first time, heard it here first. Pendulum 2011. Make some noise. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.